In combat aviation, survival often comes down to one main thing: making better decisions faster than your opponent. It's referred to as the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and then act. And the pilot who cycles through this loop faster wins the dogfight. When I served in the Israeli Special Operations, this wasn't just theory, it was real life and death. The faster adapter survived, the slow one died. And right now, whether you like it or not, you're in a dogfight with AI and your competitors. And just like in aerial combat, speed of adaptation often determines who wins and who loses. But there's something that's probably holding you back from doing that you probably haven't even noticed. If you don't know me yet, my name is Itamar Marani. I'm ex-Israeli Special Operations. I spent over a decade in the special ops world. I was also mentored by the Mossad's chief psychologist, and have now coached hundreds of entrepreneurs on how to develop a military-grade mindset so they can achieve everything that somebody with their skill set should be able to. I've also watched countless talented business owners these days get blindsided by AI. Not because they couldn't see it coming, but because they couldn't adapt fast enough. They were trapped by something more dangerous than any external threat: their own identity. So picture this. You're great at what you do. You've spent years, maybe even decades mastering your craft. You've built success through specific skills, methods, and ways of working. And that identity, who you are and how you operate, has served you very well. But here's the brutal truth. That same identity can now be your biggest liability. When pilots get locked into old patterns, they die. When entrepreneurs get locked into old identities, their companies can die. Different stakes, but it's the same principle. So let me share a very real and very clear example from one of my coaching clients. I used to work with a copywriter who built a 7-figure business writing high-converting sales copy and funnels for clients. He was very proud of his craft, his research process, his ability to find the perfect word, so to speak. And then ChatGPT arrived. Instead of embracing AI, he doubled down on being more human. He thought that was his niche. And he spent weeks crafting copy that AI could generate in minutes. His identity as what he called a master wordsmith was killing his business. Now, the solution wasn't about working harder at his craft or trying to say he was more human. It was about reimagining his entire role, letting go of his identity as a wordsmith and adopting a new one as an AI-powered message strategist. And today, he uses AI to generate 20 versions of copy in the same time it used to take him to write just one. And then he can apply his expertise to select and refine the best approach and just build better funnels and get better results. Because he was able to shift that identity, let go of wanting to be that wordsmith and to have all the ego that it comes with it, his income has tripled. And more importantly, though, he's moving at an AI speed. So here's what nobody talks about with identity. Identity, it gives you a lot of stability, which is great, but stability usually comes at the cost of mobility. And in the age of AI, mobility, the ability to shift and adapt rapidly, is everything. Think about standing with both feet firmly planted on the ground. You're stable and solid, and if someone pushes you, you won't fall, right? Now, that stability has served many business owners very well throughout the years. It's helped them resist chasing shiny objects, stick to their values, maintain course during hard times, right? But there's a problem. When both feet are firmly planted, you can't really move. You're stuck. And right now, with this rapid change in AI, being stuck is actually more dangerous than being unstable. In this unprecedented time almost of AI advancement, you need to favor mobility over stability. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. You need to be ready to move, to pivot and adapt, even if it means feeling less secure. And this plays out in several critical areas. So in decision making, the stable position is to stick to what's working. The mobile position is to quickly experiment and rapidly learn. As far as skill development, the stable position is to master one craft very deeply. The mobile position with AI is to learn and adapt constantly. In business strategy, it's right now to perfect your current model. That's a stable position. But the mobile position is to test new approaches weekly. There's just things that are now available with AI that if you're not following them, you're not doing them, somebody else will. Okay, but let's get much deeper than that and talk about something real for a moment. Your identity, who you think you are, how you work, what you're good at, it's not just a set of habits. It's your safety net. It's what tells you, I've got this when challenges come up. It's your emotional stronghold, and it comforts you in the face of fear and the unknown. And I see this with my highest performing clients, not just their skills, but with their values, how they handle conflict, compensation, or their teams. That identity of knowing this is how I do things, it keeps them steady when everything else feels uncertain. It's something to always be able to reflect back to, and that's why it's so powerful. But again, here's the hard truth. Right now, we're all standing at a crossroads. You can keep both feet planted, hold on to that sense of safety, and eventually get left behind. Or you can accept some uncertainty, lift one foot, and step into new territory. On a personal level, when I transitioned from special operations to business, I had to let go of my identity as an elite operator. It wasn't easy, and being an operator meant something to me. It meant that I was capable, I was tough, and I was elite. And letting go of all of that in order to go to a new field, the field of business, where my identity was that of a novice, an amateur, it wasn't fun. But if I would have stayed planted in that old identity, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. And I wouldn't have built what I've built. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is to stay in your safe zone. And an identity, a lot of times, actually forces us to do that. Here's your 3-step protocol for shedding your old identity and building an AI-first mindset. First off, you got to identify your current pattern. Start by spotting where your identity is slowing you down. Which tasks do you resist automating? What processes do you insist on controlling? Or where do you say, that's not how we do things? Okay, what skills do you pride yourself on that AI might do better? The reality is that if you can already answer these questions right off the top of your head, and you logically know you should be doing these things, then you're emotionally holding yourself back. That old identity you think is actually keeping you safe is killing your progress. Next, ask yourself these hard questions. If you started your business today, what would you do differently? How would you compete with an AI-first version of yourself? And now, once you answer those questions, then it might ruffle some internal feathers, except that this is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel unnatural and clunky, and that basically you're stepping away from what you knew and possibly what you define yourself as, and that's inherently uncomfortable. But start small and start now. Don't overwhelm yourself. Run daily AI experiments. Measure the results, not the comfort, and always start with the default question to any task of, if I had to do this with AI, how would I do it? When I first started using AI in my coaching practice, I resisted. I resisted letting it help with client notes, with session summaries, and even with some of the content like this. My identity was tied to being thorough and personal. But by experimenting, I discovered that AI could help me create better summaries in minutes instead of hours. It gives me more time for direct client impact and also helps me put my ideas together faster for more impactful and engaging content. Again, is it sometimes uncomfortable? Yes. But is it effective? Absolutely. So in closing, the pilots who survive aren't necessarily the most skilled. They're the ones who are able to adapt the fastest. And the same applies to you in the AI age. Your competition isn't just other businesses anymore. It's the speed of AI advancement itself. And just like in a dogfight, if you're too slow to adapt, you will lose. This isn't about becoming less human or abandoning your expertise. It's about becoming a faster, more adaptable version of yourself. Someone who can observe new opportunities, orient quickly to changes, decide on action, and execute at an AI speed. So don't let your old identity become what kills your company. Accept the discomfort of being incompetent in this new technology and start approaching everything with an AI-first mindset today. And if you're not sure about how to go about this or what you should be approaching with an AI-first mindset, we have a free tool to help you get extreme clarity on what your biggest AI opportunity is right now. It's 100% free, and you can go to the link below to exit right now and start winning fast.